in all honesty, I don't have a theory of change, and I don't believe anyone has a theory of change that is on a global scale.
Can I be a little rude? I think you do have. Like, I don't think like how to change the world in a global scale, but I think the way you live, I
Yes.
think that
Okay.
the moment you're part of, and
So what I mean is, this is back to humility. I don't have a grand narrative about how we change the largest structures of our life, because, and this is one of the places where I feel so intrigued by the presence of this pause and, mini collapse that is happening, which is the global systems of neoliberalism are so intertwined that, you get the CEO of this corporation to become fully collaborative, etc., etc., etc. He, and it's generally he, will be eaten up by the system as it is. He will be vomited out of that corporation, and they will find 500 other potential CEOs who would be happy to come in there. This relates to that deep thing that systemic problems cannot be solved individually. Once I accept that I cannot plan global change, I can only be available for it, both individually and as movements, then the theory of change that I have is a very humble theory of change. And that is, whoever I am, whether I am an individual, a community, a movement, an organization, whoever I am, if I want to be part of that shift, then I start where I am exactly, or where we are exactly, and move in the direction of that vision, however far we can move, without doing violence to ourselves or to others. So what I mean about without doing violence is a question that I don't have an answer for. So a couple of years ago, I read a book called Fan Shen, which is a very thick book. I didn't read the whole book. I read big parts of it. It's an amazing document. It's a kind of an anthropological case study that took place over 1 year in one village in China during the revolution. So that it takes place in 1948, 1949. And it chronicles and documents what was done to establish communism, not in some kind of principle or concept, but in the day-to-day life, how they tried to create that shift in villages, in places that had been completely and fully habituated to total domination, feudalism. This wasn't capitalist at the time, it was a feudal society. How do you jump from feudalism to collective living? And it was fantastic for me to see it, because it filled me with compassion for everyone, ranging from the party officers to the villagers, to the rich people, to everyone who was caught in that transition. But first and foremost, it gave me anguished respect for the overwhelming nature of doing it, because what they did was violent, and it didn't succeed. The principle that I am trying to now exercise in the one experiment that I'm part of, called the Nonviolent Global Liberation Community, the principle is the principle of willingness and capacity. Meaning that so long as you know where you want to go, you start where you are and you take one step at a time. with where you are, stretching only within capacity and within what can be held within collective capacity. There's something about that that to me feels revolutionary, because you don't lose ground when you do that. You do a revolution, you establish the new structures, but you lose so much ground because you seed new mistrust, new resentment, new fear, new everything, every step of the way. So far, we haven't had any revolution that has actually succeeded. We haven't. Every single one of the revolutions that have happened so far has recreated some form of patriarchal domination system, looking different, different rules, different people ruling different other people, but hasn't changed the fundamental structure of domination. So the dilemmas of how far you can go in that way, what is actually, even within a community, what is the critical mass that is necessary to anchor new agreements such that other people who are more frightened can go along with it without getting overwhelmed and retaliating. This is yet to be discovered. But the theory of change is move from where you are based on what you know in the direction of vision within capacity and willingness. That is maybe the theory of change, if that makes sense.